Well, I'm gonna assume by now that everybody knows what the seven NOAHIDE laws are, and I was reading this article um, where this gentleman he was pretty much basically, in agreement with me, saying that this is just not some meeting that these people are having. They're getting this thing set up, and they basically telling the people there that you know when they leave, they go back to wherever they came from, and they're going to establish these laws. You're going to get your people to do it because now you, the leader of this nation, have declared yourself to be a Noahide. So now you need to go back and get your people straight. And just watching what these people are doing, it's almost obvious that they're getting ready to set up these laws will be established. We see where now the United States and Israel, the armies have become one. I don't believe that that's about the armies. The military, should I say, will be one. No, I believe that's basically America uniting with Israel. America basically saying that yes, we will be a Noahide nation. I believe that's what that is about. I honestly believe that, and I mean the fact that everything that Israel now has, now America has it, and they will be doing the same things. Um, you would have to do your research and see what technology was used to go after those Palestinians. So now that same technology will be used to go after Americans. And it's pretty scary again because you don't hear it. I mean, where are the pastors that's talking about this? I've seen a few on YouTube who say something about it, but they're not saying what they should be saying about this thing. That it is very possible that these laws will become the law of the land, especially for all of those nations, the representatives from those nations that will gather together in November. Those people definitely will become Noahides. And, the seventh law is to establish courts of justice. It's a commandment to establish courts of justice. So anybody who is not a Noahide, you got to think about it. I forget how many continents, representatives from all of these different continents will be at this meeting. And others, they're going to have to, pretty soon establish courts of justice, meaning they're going to have to bow down. They're going to have to become Noahides. Their nations are going to have to become Noahides. And this thing is it's pretty scary. And I just want to read some of the stuff that this gentleman spoke about. He said adherence to these laws professed out of an understanding that they were initially commanded to all humanity and subsequently are a manifestation of the Sinai revelation to be bequeathed to all humankind through the Torah of Moshe grants a person a status of righteous Gentile. Now, this is their pledge. It says, I pledge my allegiance to Hashem. See, this is the declaration that the people are going to be swearing to, those people that are going there for this meeting. It says, I pledge my allegiance to Hashem, God of Israel, creator and king of the universe, and to God's Torah. I pledge to observe the 7 laws of Noah in their details according to the oral law of Moshe under the guidance of the rabbis. Baruch, at whatever his name is, blessed are you, God, King of the universe, who has given me life, supported me, and sustained me to this day. This guy adds that, however, they make it clear in the footnotes that declaring Jesus Christ as Lord and God is considered blasphemy to them. It is important to note that if you believe that Jesus is God, this is their footnote, or incarnation of God, you would not be able to make this declaration sincerely. Now, this is what they're saying. This is in their manifesto. This is what they're talking. This is what they're going to be talking about. The Hebrew tradition is clear that God is one and cannot become a human form ever. Please accept our wishes for a blessed life, and may you continue learning the Bible with us. The NOAHIDE Manifesto. In November 2025, the NOAHIDE World Center published an updated manifesto expressing how they would like to see a new world order shaped. This is the new world order. So it was the fake Jews all along who wanted this new world order. And the new world order is the 7 Noahide laws. That's the new world order. It says, expressing how they would like to see a new world order shaped. One that they said has a shared destiny with Israel and stands in solidarity with Israel and other converted Noahides. This is not just a document. This is a call to action, they say. I believe when these people leave that meeting, they're going to go back home and they're going to put these laws into effect. They say Jews, Maimonides, and other Kabbalists won't tell you up front is that there are death sentences embedded in these laws via the establishment of these international criminal courts, and a blasphemy against God can result in execution as instructed in various parts of the Talmud. It says the Talmudic rabbis discuss which offenses and sub-offenses are capital offenses and which are merely forbidden. Maimonides states that anyone who does not accept the 7 laws is to be executed, as God compelled the world to follow these laws. Of course, these are all lies. What is the punishment for breaking the Noahide laws? They are obligated to seat judges in every single district to render judgment with regard to these 6 commandments and to admonish the populace. A Noahide who transgresses one of the 7 commandments is to be put to death by a sword. And again, those of us with eyes to see, we know that this was all planned. You know, how they ordered all of those guillotines during the Obama term, and they ordered all of those caskets that can fit up to 4 people. This thing has been in the making. It has been in the making. They say the first International Congress, with these things in mind, it was recently announced by the NOAHIDE World Center that later this year, the group will host its first International Congress of Noahides, finally able to ratify and create the early framework for this new global judiciary. Wow. Beginning on November the 2nd through the 6th, Jews and Noahides from 6 continents will meet virtually and physically in Jerusalem. So why now? According to them, here is why. They say, for 2,000 years, the prophet's words waited. We waited. The people of Israel returned home, which they did not. The state of Israel was built. Israeli society developed, and now quietly on 6 continents, tens and thousands of non-Jews on multiple continents are choosing freely to live by the universal moral law given at Sinai to all humanity. They are called Noahide. They are awakening. They are organizing. And for the first time in history, they have an address, Jerusalem. This November, the most committed Noahide leaders from around the globe will gather in Jerusalem to formally found together the World Noahide Movement. The question is not whether this happens. It is happening. The question is, who will be there when it does? Now, right now, they're saying it's not clear if Trump is going to be there. I don't know. At this point, it don't even matter. But I do believe whoever represents the United States, it's going to be clear that America will be officially a Noahide nation. Now it says this is a foundation. This is a foundation, not a conference. They told the people, they said, you will not leave with notes. You will leave as a founding member of a recognized international movement with a charter you helped write. Isn't that something? That says it all. And this is, again, why I can't understand why it's not in the churches, why you don't hear this far and wide. Well, I do understand, because the word of God says that that day will catch them like a thief in the night. Most of these people who are considering themselves God's people, they don't have a clue. They don't believe these things are going to happen. They don't know what's happening. They don't understand why America just combined their military with Israel. They don't understand that all of that is linked to these Noahide laws. That everything that Israel and their military, everything that they did to those Palestinians, they're going to be doing to Americans. This thing is huge. This thing is huge. It is very huge. And the thing is, they're all in on it. They just act as if they're enemies, especially with Trump, Biden, and Obama. Trump pretends to be against them, but he's not. As soon as Biden left office, he became a 33-degree Mason. Him and Trump are not enemies. They're brothers. Obama is already a 33-degree Mason. All of them were waiting for this day. All of them on Educational Day signed these Noahide laws that they would agree to them. So basically, they're just waiting for November 6th so they can get this movement started. I think all of the presidents, starting with Reagan, I believe. It could have went before him. I don't know. But now, they say Trump, of course, this guy say, as I have pointed out at different times before, is also a converted Kabbalist and was the first sitting president to visit the Wailing Wall in Israel. I don't know about that, because I saw pictures of Obama, and it's a whole bunch of them that was there. And has done more for Israel and Netanyahu than anyone else. That's true. Moved the U.S. Embassy in Israel to Jerusalem, and is the first president to declare a national Sabbath. Now, this is why I believe that whole Charlie Kirk assassination was staged, because Charlie Kirk was huge in reference to observing the Sabbath. He was. So this whole turning point thing, that they've made him a hero. So now, even the turning point people, they, on his death, on his so-called death, assassination, Charlie Kirk, did you know that they observed the Sabbath? So this is just an example of what these so-called faith offices, these churches, or whatever you want to consider them, if they don't accept these laws, they're in deep trouble. According to them, they must be killed. What you think these pastors gonna do? Or they gonna sugarcoat and tell you that, like Trump said, we must show our love for Israel. We must love. He just been painting that on real thick here lately. So you probably going to hear these pastors say that, this is for Israel, and they're going to quote scriptures to tell you why we must line up with Israel and why it's important for us to follow the 7 Noahide laws. The 7 laws are not bad. Pretty soon you're going to see these pastors in these churches. Now, the ones who disagree, they're going to be cut off and killed, thrown in camps and killed. Now, in a 2015 interview with the Washington Post, Trump, gave an office tour when he began campaigning, and he immediately pointed to the Tree of Life award he received in 1983, the highest humanitarian award presented by the Jewish National Fund USA, a group that helped establish land grants for the foundation of the modern state of Israel. Only a handful of people have gotten this award. What does that tell you? These people are not elected. They are selected. He received this award in 1983. They knew this day was coming. Trump flashed the 666 hand signal and said that the award represents everything that I stand for. This guy said he told you who he was back then. Exactly. But see, these people who love America, they were looking for somebody to save America because they love their country. And this is why he was able to deceive the masses, because y'all love this world. When I say y'all, I'm speaking of those who love their country and they're patriotic and they love America. This is how the Antichrist was able to deceive them, because they love this world. And of course, America is a part of this world. Now we know that Donald Trump was considered a champion of the Noahides. During his almost 4 years in office, Donald Trump has been the greatest supporter of the Noahide law in U.S. history. In April 2025, Trump launched a task force to combat anti-Semitism and appoints Rabbi as head. DHS to begin screening social media posts for anti-Semitism. Oh, this thing is huge. See, this is why they joined the military, as they say, the American, the USA military and Israeli military. No, this is just the USA and America joining. He put a fake Jew as the head to begin screening social media posts for anti-Semitism. When they say peace and safety, prosecution starts day one. So if they announce peace and safety during November, I know they're going to establish these laws. But the word of God says when they say peace and safety. Now, I believe they're going to announce it during November, but it may come shortly after. I don't know. But I do believe when they think that they got this thing all together, they got everything, everybody then went back to their nations and they got them set up, they're going to announce peace and safety. Again, it could be during this meeting, it could be shortly after, but this is why it was important for this new, everybody's upset because now the USA has joined Israel. The military has joined. No, it ain't the military. They have combined, period, because America is now a NOAHIDE, is I guess they call it, nation. Trump White House vows to use Palantir pre-crime surveillance. Y'all remember that movie? Where they arrested that man for the arrest of some woman that he would commit in maybe 2058. I forget the name of that movie. But anyway, Trump White House vows to use Palantir pre-crime surveillance to target anti-Americans and anti-Christians in new counterterrorism strategy report. Now, this is why I believe that they will possibly announce peace and safety during those meetings. Because when everybody goes back, the leaders from the 6 continents, when they go back to their nations and they begin to tell people what they must do, you're going to have people that are going to be speaking their mind. They're going to be like, maybe protesting and saying, no, we can't do this. Trump White House vows to use Palantir pre-crime surveillance to target anti-Americans and anti-Christians in new counterterrorism strategy. They already got it set up. When these people leave Jerusalem and go back home and they begin to implement these laws, and when they can go. They say they can go back 10 years in your social media posts and see if you are a hater of Israel, and they're going to target you. This is what Palantir is for. They're going to be screening people. Just like they said, DHS to begin screening social media posts for anti-Semitism. I believe this is going to start after these meetings in November. Now, this was in February 2026. Benjamin Netanyahu said, he already know. He's so excited. He's so giggly. Benjamin Netanyahu has announced plans for a new global alliance. They've already planned it. This, just like they say, this is not just a meeting. They're getting ready to get this thing started. He has announced plans for a new global alliance, calling it a hexagon that will eventually surround the Middle East. The alliance will bring together India, Greece, Cyprus, African states, Arab states, and Asian nations into one strategic bloc. Netanyahu says India is a global power and has a very special relationship with Israel. He says, you get the point? The world governments and religions are becoming Noahic by design. It's been planned. They've been planning this for a long time. It says United Nations publishes draconian report detailing how it uses blockchain to confirm where activities are taking place and what has been reported. This thing is getting huge, y'all. They already, when these people leave in November and go back home, they already got everything is already set up to arrest the people. This is why I believe they're going to announce peace and safety in November at these meetings. Because as soon as these people go back and they begin to put these laws into motion, they're going to go after people. They're going to start going after people left and right. The persecution starts on day 1. The Antichrist will have power and authority over the tribulation saints for 3.5 years. So that means It starts day one of the tribulation period. It says the same undercurrent logic. He says, I believe I seen in Benjamin Netanyahu's Project Esther to suppress any criticism of Israel and so-called anti-Semitism online. The TikTok deal being an explicit example he cited. But what happened in the book of Esther? Gentile conspirators were killed, and many others converted to Jewish proselytes. Says Netanyahu admits TikTok deal is to censor criticism of Israel. See, I knew that TikTok deal had something to do with Trump. So now that we know that America and Israel has joined, they say military, no, but they are one nation actually. Now that they have joined, this tells us why it was important for them to purchase TikTok. Netanyahu admits TikTok deal is to censor criticism of Israel. Hopes to do the same to Musk X after popular app purchased by Oracle's Larry Ellison. Ooh-wee. It's going to start day one. They're going after everybody who's saying, boy, they're going to look, they're going through your post. They already know what you're saying. They already know what you have said. They got a list, just like in that Rex 1984. They already got a list of the people that they're going after on day one. Persecution starts on day one. And this is why that letter to the tribulation saints, the letter to Smyrna in Revelation chapter 2, it says that some of you will be jailed, and after 10 days you will be killed. It's going to happen real fast. It's going to happen real fast. And again, those are the souls under the altar in Revelation 5 that are saying, Lord, Lord, when are you going to get revenge for, for our blood? And he said, just wait a while, gave them white robes and said, when the rest of your brothers are killed the way you are, when the rest of the tribulation saints are killed just like you were. You can, what I'll do is, in the community post, I'll put their manifesto, because I won't read all of it, but I'm just going to read some of it. Now, after they listed the Noahide laws, they say, in addition, it should be noted that the Noahides are obligated by the Torah only to fulfill the 7 laws of Noah. Nonetheless, they may voluntarily assume additional obligations, dispensing on their national and individual depositions, and doing so with discretion is highly recommended and praiseworthy, as outlined in the book Brit Shalom. The 8th tier applies to Noahide communities and is based on a mutual guarantee or expressed explicitly in terms. They say one for all and all for one. America and Israel have joined. Says the members of each community will strive to assist one another as much as possible. The rule could also be extended to intercommunity relations, but it is up to each community to decide for itself. In a broader view stemming from the Torah teachings, we must eventually strive to elevate and support mankind towards their observation of God's law, both near and far. Neighbor and foreign. It's going to be the law of the land. For we are all made in the image of God. No, we are not all made in the image of God. God said that those fake Jews are the synagogue of Satan. He said those who call themselves Jews, they do lie. They're liars. They're not Jews. They stole the identity from the Jewish people when the Jewish people disobeyed God and they were scattered. Let's see here. Now, they say how to become a Noahide. The journey to become a Noahide begins with the recognition and acceptance of the 7 Noahide laws, which were given to all humanity. Okay. It begins with the recognition and acceptance of the Noahide laws. So these people, these representatives from these 6 continents that go to this meeting, they are accepting these Noahide laws. So when they go back to their nations, it's gonna be the law of the land wherever they from. Why are the churches not talking about this? The journey to become a Noahide begins with the recognition and acceptance of the Noahide laws, which were given. Okay, that's a lie. The initial step forward, declaring oneself a Noahide, involved acknowledging the divine origin and validity of the 7 commandments as given to the Creator. Okay, this acceptance should be followed by a commitment to observe these laws in one's daily life. So when they do this declaration, when they go back, it's automatic that these laws are in effect. They're saying it. While in full integration into the spiritual circle of Israel is achieving through a formal declaration before a rabbinical court, that's where they're going to be. Individuals who are not yet ready for this step can make a personal declaration. This self-declaration entails a commitment to uphold the 7 Noahide laws and can be registered with the Noahide World Center in Jerusalem. There are several profound reasons for making this declaration. First, it acknowledges the limitation of human intellect and recognizes the necessity of divine guidance in one's journey to the ultimate truth. Second, it promotes an openness to the infinite. I ain't finna read all that foolish, a bunch of lies. By accepting and keeping the 7 Noahide laws because God commanded them and make them known by Moses, one fulfills a divine imperative to live righteously and is considered one of the pious of the nations. Wow. With a share in the world to come. This initial declaration is therefore a significant first step. This is the first step. When they go and they do this declaration, I don't know if they're going to put their hand over their heart or whatever, but that's the first step. And when they go back, you can look in this manifesto and they're going to tell them how they how to train their people and how to teach their people and, what all they need to do. It's going down. It is going down. What I want to see. Now, they got national holidays. They telling them they take these manifestos, they take a copy of them back home. So they're going to know exactly what to do. The Noahide recommended holidays may be synchronized with the Jewish holidays. Noahide can celebrate some or all of them and can add additional holidays such as national events if he or she chooses to, as long as they don't call on the name of Jesus. It says the celebration of the following festivals is recommended. Noah's Ark Day, Feast of the Nations. This is celebrated on October and November of the 27th. I guess that's almost like Thanksgiving. What is celebrated? A day Noah and the ark's inhabitants disembarked the ark. How to celebrate? Festive meals, family activities, meeting with other Noahide groups in the world. National holidays. According to local dates, what is celebrated according to local traditions? How to celebrate? According to the local tradition, as long as it does not contradict the 7 laws of Noah. You can celebrate your holidays. I guarantee you they ain't going to be celebrating Christmas. As long as you don't, it does not contradict the 7 laws. Okay, Israel Independence Day is around May the 5th. What is celebrated? The beginning of a new era for humanity. Wow. How to celebrate? Study, preferably in groups, of the prophecies about the future, festive meals, family activities. Mm. Now, congregational positions. They say each congregation's contributing members board will appoint one of its members to serve as the community's representative and address all relevant issues. The mechanisms for nominating the president will be set by the community. This involves handling and all related logistics, taking care of their financial affairs, and representing the community in national and municipal matters. The World Center will also offer a special training program for leaders or candidates for community leadership, providing them with basic knowledge of management methods and conflict resolution, as well as basic financial management skills. Okay, sage. The sage will serve as a spiritual leader of the community, as described in the relevant section. The sage will be nominated and appointed by the members board. The sage must have received at least the proper level C training as described above. Okay, cantor will be responsible for all the ceremonies. If there is a orchestra and or choir, he will also be accountable for their training and performance. Baby, listen, they finna retrain these people. I mean, you can forget about what you was taught in church. You can forget about what you did as a Muslim or a Buddhist. They are trained. When they go back, they got this manifesto. They're going to go back and they're going to train the people according to what these people are doing, what it is to be a Noahide. This thing is going down. Okay, members board. The board is composed of all members of the congregation who contribute their annual members' contribution as adjusted for their income. The president casts the tie-breaking vote in the case of a tie. The annual members' contribution should be adjusted to include building costs. Educational activities that align with the Noahide way of living, comply with the 7 laws, will be implemented at all levels. The goal is to integrate Torah teachings suitable for children of Noah to learn how to apply them in daily life. This will begin in kindergarten and elementary schools, extending to lectures and workshops for adults. These people are gonna go back after this meeting in November, and they're gonna train their people according to these 7 Noahide laws. This will be the law of the land. Again, I believe they're gonna announce peace and safety in November. Intercommunity activities. Apart from the NWS and the formal global activities, national and international intercommunity activities are highly encouraged. These activities are intended to consolidate and increase cooperation and shared identity between communities. It can include mutual introductions, physical or online meetings, and so on. Symbols. I believe these are the symbols you are allowed to have. Now, I believe this is why America and Israel have become one, not just militarily. They have become one. Now, they say symbols. The suggested tentative flag is depicted in figure 6. Now, y'all have to go and pull up. No, I put it in the community post, and I'm going to show y'all what the flag looked like, what they saying you're going to be able to flag, put up outside of your schools, like y'all got the American flag everywhere. No more of that. Whoever goes to this meeting from these 6 continents, you're going to use this flag that's going to be in figure 6. And I suggest you all go to the community post, and I'll put it there so you can see what it looks like. It says the suggested tentative flag is depicted in figure 6. The flag bears some resemblance to the Israeli flag to designate its affinity to Israel. Affinity to Israel. It has a colorful Star of David in the middle. Ooh wee. Wow. It says, which represents the colorful rainbow. Ooh. It is surrounded by 7 stars, which designate the 7 Noahide laws, the tentative flag for Noahides. Now, after this meeting, if you all see, or either before the meeting, if you all see Trump saying that we're going to start using this flag over places because, see, we bringing religion back, this flag, man. Okay, now they got a badge that they want everybody to wear. It is suggested that Noahides will frequently wear a special ornamental brooch. You know, like how Trump always wearing a pendant of the flag on his suit. Oh, this is so deep. The Noahides will frequently wear a special ornamental brooch. This will allow them to recognize each other at occasional meetings, and exemplary suggests brooch is depicted in figure 5. I will put this in the community post. If you all see Trump with this thing on his coat before November or either after November, just know y'all in deep trouble. Should a Noahide choose to pray in a synagogue with a Jewish congregation, it is suggested to wear a kippah with a particular or different texture or shape. What is the kippah? I guess that's the little thing they put on the head. I guess. I don't know. For example, using colored Star of David. This is intended to create distinction between Jews and Noahides wearing kippah within the house of prayer. They say the Noahides have their own international anthem published in the Brit Prayer book, which will be sung on public events. So now, those who will become Noahides, this anthem, they say the Noahides have their own international anthem published in the Brit Olam Prayer book. So obviously this book is going to be their Bible. So they're going to do everything this book tell them. And they say, which will be sung on public events. This is quite scary. This is scary. And I say scary because those who miss the rapture, I feel sorry for them. I'm scared for those who are going to miss the rapture. My heart aches for them. I'm not scared because I'm not going to be here when this stuff starts. I mean, anybody who is living holy won't be here. But those who are not living holy, sanctified, separate lives from this world, they should be scared. But because they're under the strong delusion, they're not scared. You know, they think they're going to be protected. And this thing is pretty serious. This thing is pretty serious. Netanyahu admits TikTok deal is the censor criticism of Israel. He hopes to do the same to Musk X after popular app purchased by Oracle. He said he admits the TikTok deal is to censor criticism of Israel. United Nations published draconian report detailing how it uses blockchain to confirm where activities are taking place and what has been reported. They already know who the dissidents are. They already know who they're going to go after. Day one of the tribulation period, they already know who they're going to go after. And again, this is why I believe that the Lord said, when he wrote the letter to the church of Smyrna, that some of you, after 10 days, you will be arrested, and after 10 days, you will be killed. They're going to go after some people very heavy because say they need you all with these podcasts or whoever. They need you all to be silenced because these people are going to leave those meetings and they're going to go back to their countries or their nations, and they're going to implement these laws, and they're going to silence all dissidents. Anybody that is discouraging people from following these laws. And again, they say they're going to be teaching them from kindergarten all the way through. So the school system is just going to be changed. Everything, even adults. And again, these churches, very soon, you're going to know something has changed because these churches are going to be saying that these Noahide laws are not as bad as people think. You know, they're from Noah. You know, just think. There were 10 and you only have to now do 7. So it's a good thing, actually. They got to obey. They got to obey. And I actually believe that those people who spoke against Trump, I think J.D. Vance was one. I forget the other guys. It's about 10 of them that spoke. Lindsey Graham was one of them. Oh my goodness. All of his little puppets that are around him, most of them used to speak against him. I do believe they understand what's coming. And they know that it will behoove them to join the beast. But because Donald Trump is so evil, I believe he would rather keep his enemies close. And I don't believe those people are safe. J.D. Vance either. Even though Peter Thiel, trained J.D. Vance, and he thought it would be a good idea for him to link up with Trump to further the agenda. But I just believe by Trump being so evil, he has never forgotten what J.D. Vance has said about him. Or any of the others who are around him who used to speak foul against him. He said he believes in revenge. And I think they think that they're safe now since they, have joined the enemy. If you can't beat them, join them. But I don't think they're safe around this man. I think he's going to get revenge on anybody who has said anything negative about him. I do believe that. But yeah, this thing is it's pretty yeah. It said this November the most committed Noahide leaders from around the globe will gather. Now they call them, they're already saying that they already are Noahide leaders. Again, starting with Reagan, I believe. Every president on down has signed those 7 laws into effect. They say this November, the most committed NOAHIDE leaders from around the globe will gather. That's just the ones in America who have signed on to it. So there are others around the globe who already signed on to it. To formally found together the World NOAHIDE movement. The question is not whether this happens. It is happening. And the church is not talking about it. And the church is not talking about it. In November 2025, the NOAHIDE World Center published an update manifesto expressing how they would like to see a new world order shaped. They were talking about it in 2025. One that they said has a shared destiny with Israel and stands in solidarity with Israel and other converted Noahides. This is not just a document. This is a call to action, they say. And even if the church leaders don't believe that these NOAHIDE laws will come into effect in November, even if they don't believe that, I think they still should be warning the people. They should be the watchmen on the wall, sounding, the alarm, saying, hey, you need to, yeah, this could possibly go down. Make sure that you are ready. But you don't hear a peep. And again, this man and his wife, Steve Banoon, or whatever his name is, on Israel Live, he got the little YouTube show. He used to always talk about the NOAHIDE law. Him and his wife always talking about the NOAHIDE laws. And I've been looking to see if he said anything about this meeting, and I haven't seen him say a word about it. To me, that kind of is, I really don't need any more confirmation. But that just kind of confirms me the fact that we don't have many people talking about that is because of what Jesus said, how that day would catch them like a thief in the night. Again, you don't expect a thief. They catch you off guard. And this is how, when the Lord comes, it's going to be just like the foolish virgins. They're not ready. This thing should be shouted far and wide. And just like I said, that video that I made with the Winans pastor, that he was telling the lady that she didn't have her $1,200. And I made that video talking about him and how it was a shame. Baby, that video got over 400 views in less than 2 weeks. The people from this channel were sharing it far and wide. But when I talk about how the tribulation period could possibly start here in November, nobody is sharing it. Nobody is sharing it. Why? That sounds like you're under the strong delusion. I'm not saying that maybe 1 or 2 people didn't share it. I'm not saying you didn't, but it's not being shared the way that Winans video was shared when I was calling him out as a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's not being shared. That delusion is very strong. You would think that people would want to spread this, especially after you read this manifesto. Go and pull it up and see for yourself, and stop trying to find channels who are reporting on it, and you just being relieved that, okay, somebody said this is not it. Okay, this is not it. I can breathe again. Got more time here in this world. I can enjoy this world some more. This is not it. You're listening to false teachers. This could very well be it. It sounds like it. The manifesto is basically saying it. They're telling them what to go back and teach their people. So I just wanted to share that with you all. And I'm pretty excited about it, especially when I saw America has now joined Israel militarily. So everything that those fake Jews did to those Palestinians, the technology that they used to hunt down those Palestinians, will be used here in America to hunt down Americans. Some will be jailed, and after 10 days, they will be killed. Y'all take care.